whole day I just wanted to lay in bed. Caffeine does not give you energy. What happens when you quit caffeine? The withdrawal no one warns you about. Caffeine is like Coke. In fact, I think it's worse than Coke in my opinion, but that's just for me and my experience, and it might not be for you, right? But caffeine is super addictive, and the withdrawal is it's a complete and I hated it, and it was the worst thing ever. And then going through like 3 to 4 relapses of it, where you're like off of it for a couple weeks and then you relapse and you just feel like you cannot live without it, that sucks. That's why I know that caffeine is a super addictive substance. Your brain has been borrowing energy. Caffeine does not give you energy. It is literally just borrowing energy from the next day, right? So you're postponing the fact that your body needs to sleep and recover, and you're pushing it off to the next day, and that just builds up and builds up, and it's chronic, at the end of the day. So that's bad. Days 1 to 3, the crash, oh man, that's the worst. The headache, the brain fog, the extreme fatigue, the mood swings. Oh man, the mood swings, it's like you're bipolar. And that just shows how crazy this substance affects the human body. It shows the extreme severity. It shows how much it truly affects you without you even realizing it until you are off of it. So the fatigue, that's crazy. I slept for 2 days, almost a whole day. I just wanted to lay in bed, and then you have no motivation to do anything. The brain fog is annoying. You can't think clearly, you can't write. If you're in school, you can't do any of that. Your headaches, man, those are throbbing. The pain, it's no good. And then the mood swings, you're like happy for a second, or not even happy. You're probably down all day, And then you literally are angry sometimes because you have to get that fiend, Days 4 to 7, the confusion. Energy feels flat. You feel like you have no energy, no motivation. Your motivation is completely done. It's dipped to its lowest point. Sleep starts changing, which is good. You finally start to actually sleep, and you actually sleep and dream, but your motivation, your levels of motivation are just at 0. If you're working a hard, stressful job, you're probably gonna give up or get really stressed out. But eventually when you hit baseline and flatten out, your motivation and energy will start to become natural, and it'll build back up, especially if you work out. So week 2, rewiring begins. You have to actually rewire your neural pathways because your brain is used to the dopamine and all the adenosine, all of that. It has to rewire. So your brain starts to rewire and heal. And you have to focus and drink a lot of water. Your dopamine levels return to baseline, your natural level. Less anxiety and stress. You'll become calmer in the mornings, and hopefully when you wake up you're awake. You're not drained and you need that hit to get you back to baseline. No, you don't need that shot. You don't need that coffee anymore. You're awake when you're awake, and your body naturally will go to sleep when it needs to sleep. Week 3 to 4, real energy. This is when the real energy kicks back in. You get that stable focus, better sleep depth, right? Now you're dreaming, you're in that REM sleep. No crashes, no afternoon crashes, right? You need that second cup of coffee when you're at work in the afternoon, right? To keep you going through the day, because you have no energy without it. When you're off of it for the 3rd week or whatever, you won't feel that anymore, unless you were a chronic caffeine drinker. For me, I didn't feel that as much anymore after 3 weeks. But I would say overall 90 days is what you got to give it to start feeling some actual change. This is what baseline feels like. Feels normal, So no caffeine, no crutches, just real energy again. You got to try this for yourself if that's the path you think is the best for you. But for me personally, I think no caffeine and no crutches, just the real energy again, that's the best way to go. And I'm launching my business, getting everything off the ground. I'm having multiple streams of income, trying to get those set up. I'm trying to move forward off of caffeine, off of these 9-to-5s. I'm trying to build something that's a legacy thing, And one of the things I have to get out of my way is caffeine, because if I'm relying on it, I'm a servant to the matrix, and I'm just one of the players, you know? I'm an NPC, you know, at that point. I have to overcome that. And so that's what I'm doing. All right, well, if you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, and follow me in my future shorts. I'll see you in the next one.